If you're not watching playoff basketball using Sling TV, you're doing it all wrong. Because with Sling TV, you get every playoff game for the best price, hands down. Sling is the MVP for all your favorite live sports, news, and entertainment, and you'll never get locked into a long-term contract. I love that. While the other guys charge you more for less, with Sling, you can watch all the sports you love, including every playoff basketball game for the best price. Customize your channel lineup with all-star channels like TNT, TBS, True TV, ESPN, USA Network, and more. Plus, you can stream the games anywhere, so you never miss another play. Watch on your favorite devices, including your phone, computer, tablet, and smart TV. You can also watch anytime you want, with 50 hours of DVR storage included. Sling is easy to set up and easy to use. Check out sling.com for special offers. Be confident you're getting all the playoff basketball you love for the price you'll love. Try us today.
I can't believe it. We're finally staying over and he's cuddling us.
Oh, don't be so gushy or ruin the spooning. Shush, you're embarrassing me.
I can't help it. I'm not even hungry.
Why are you making so much noise then? Oh my god.
I told you it wasn't me.
No, be quiet. He's gonna hear you.
I think you're gonna have to let her out.
His genitals are dangerously close to us. He's gonna feel it escape.
Ew, don't say genitals.
Please, just let her go.
What if we move onto our back, let it out slowly, and then trap it under the duvet?
Oh my god, we can't Dutch oven him. We're not even official yet.
Maybe it won't smell.
Believe me, it will.
I'm filling with air. You've got to let her out.
It sounds like we're internally farting.
Oh, why is this happening? Why can't you all just behave? I'm so sorry. I'm too weak.
Room for one more?
Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network. It's Friday, April 29th. This is The Drop, and we got the whole band back together. I'm J.E. Skeets, and alongside me, back from Sin City, it's Tas Melis.
Great to be back with you cool guys.
Hey, Tas, we got our top shot hot boy, Trey Kirby.
Hey-o.
Hey-o. The international man of mystery, taking it to the max, Lee Ellis. Finally, man, making the magic happen, picking those beauty cold open, super producer JD.
Hello, I'm not on camera yet because I have it, but hello.
Hi.
Hi,
Hey.
how's it going?
Shout out to the stream team joining us live right now on YouTube. Subscribe, like, comment, and share the show. Email in your NBA questions to nodunks@theathletic.com. You gotta tee us up for next week. We're stepping on the beach. I guarantee it, okay?
Yes.
Lock it in.
Yes.
And if you're looking for some content, maybe for over the weekend, because there's not a lot of basketball on, go check out yesterday's new No Buffs Survivor Recap Pod, posted over on the No Buffs YouTube feed and in the No Buffs podcast feed, either on Apple or Spotify. An emotional episode 9, which we broke down. So go check that out. Had a lot of fun talking to TK and JD about that episode. But we got a bunch of games from last night to discuss, and then a bunch of series in the second round to look forward to, break down, talk about key storylines and X factors, and make some predictions. But Lily, we start with the perfect game. Chris Paul leading the Suns past the Pelicans in Game 6. 14 for 14 from the floor and 4 for 4 from the free throw line. The perfect game.
Yeah, and 1 for 1 from downtown. And added to that, DeAndre Ayton was basically perfect himself. 10 for 12 here. But Chris Paul, what an incredible performance wasn't officially a closeout game as far as if they lost, they would have gone on to Game 7. But he did not want to go home and play a Game 7. And the shots he were making, these weren't layups or uncontested shots. There was defenders in his face most of the time. He was just getting to his spot, that sort of zigzag move where he likes to get 10, 15 feet away and throw it up, and it went in, and it was just incredible. But despite all that, despite the 14 for 14 and the 10 for 12 from DeAndre Ayton, Mikal Bridges went 7 for 12 as well from the field. With a minute 40 to go, the Pelicans were leading this game. They still had a chance to pull this off, despite the fact that CJ McCollum, who was good in the first half, was in foul trouble. But then Mikal Bridges rips the ball out of his hands and dunked it, and that just felt like the air was let out of the balloon, because CJ's been great But it was pretty easy how Bridges just stripped him of the ball down there.
Yeah, a little trap there from Bridges.
And
Give me that.
And it just felt in that moment that was when the game was over. Even though it wasn't officially, it just felt like that. And Chris Paul had another basket after that. I think Booker hit one too after that as well. And the Suns just did enough to say to the little brother, guys, great fight, valiant effort, but we're moving on here. And you guys, I've got so much respect here for what the Pelicans have done this season and how they competed in this series. And I think you could feel the emotion after the game between Chris Paul and Monty Williams, between Chris Paul and Willie Green, between Willie Green and Monty Williams as well. There was a lot of love and a lot of history with all of those guys and those players and former teammates and now coaching and all that. But in the end, the Suns get away with it. They win this series. They move on now. Booker played, which is good. He looked okay. I thought he looked pretty much, like he didn't seem too bothered. He didn't have
played over 30 minutes.
Yeah, he didn't have a super game as far as scoring the ball. He only had 13 points, but I think it was more about let's get him through this game and then move on to the next round.
Yep.
So overall, the Suns probably took longer than they were expecting to get rid of the Pelicans, but that I think is so much down to the fact the Pelicans fought this entire series, and you saw it last night right up until the end. They had a chance to extend it, but they couldn't. But great job by everybody.
Yeah, pretty amazing though. Chris Paul. What is he, 85 years old? Going 14 for 14. And like Lee said, I mean, this was all jumpers. These are not layups. These are not fast break, got an easy one here. This is with guys draped all over him finding a spot and hitting it. He had a couple. I mean, he just had it going last night. I think like 2 of his 4 that bounced in were down the stretch. Like he got that crazy one that went way up in the air, hit a bunch of rim and bounced around. Had the other dunking like one in front of the rim and then kissed it in. But that's spectacular. Like this has never been done before in an NBA playoff game, let alone from a guy that's like one of the shortest guys out there.
He was feeling it so much, that bucket with like 4:30 left. He wiped the sweat off his hands on the shorts while he had the ball. Just took his time. I'm going to need this hand. Wiped it off, dried it off, and then banged home a shot. There's something about clinching on the road in the playoffs. It's just such high drama. It was amazing. Yeah, all the relationships that Lee went through. The Willie Green moment. I don't know if it's just because I lost money in Vegas, but that made me want to cry. No, I'm sure everybody in that building, everybody on the Suns organization loved Willie. I mean, so many tears after the game. And the way it lasted 46 and a half minutes until Herbert Jones, that everyone was praising, just kind of lost Devin Booker for half a second because everyone was expecting Chris Paul to go off. Devin Booker hadn't hit a 3. Herbert looking at Chris Paul, took his eye off Devin Booker, bang, big shot, and then they go the other way, and that was when the rip happened on CJ McCollum. Game over, 2 plays. Good night. Came down to 2 teeny plays, and the Suns. It was a wild because you look at the shot chart. I know you tweeted it, Skeets, and then you look at what the Suns did. They took 8 fewer shots than the Pels, and were still able to win this game because they shot 60%. They hit 6 out of 10 shots, and didn't hit a ton of threes. That was clinical finish, and especially with Devin Booker, it was pretty quiet. But everybody else so efficient. It was. On the road, you got to be that great, and the Pels had an incredible season.
What do you think, Trey?
This was just cool. I felt like Chris Paul's 14th make was maybe the closest to missing. I was like, no, don't roll out. Obviously, it dropped in, and the Suns take the win. Only 8 threes for the Suns, only 8 threes for the Pelicans. This was like a 1990s basketball game, getting into the mid-range. And like you mentioned, Lee, 10 for 12 from DeAndre Ayton. I'm surprised to see that only 4 of his baskets came on assists from Chris Paul. I would have guessed exactly 10. But if you're getting 24 for 26 from your 2 leading scorers, that's a tough that's tough to beat if you're the Pelicans. But man, they tried hard. They grinded. They did the best they possibly could. They had 3 rookies out there making incredible plays down the stretch. This was really fun to watch, and it just shows you the level that the Suns are at. That the Pelicans were playing as well as they were. They were getting contributions from everybody. They just couldn't handle Chris Paul because Chris Paul is awesome. Yeah.
And again, I think the Pelicans have done the Suns a favor here in putting up a fight in the first round. We'll see how that folds out here, or at least unfolds, as they take on the Mavericks, and we'll get to that series in a second. But Chris Paul, I have the stats here from an account that changed their name to Paul Don't Lie. Chris Paul finished the series against Pelicans shooting 70% between 5 and 9 feet, 59% from 10 to 14, and then 68% from 15 to 19. Those are really insane numbers. That's a series.
Yeah, and I haven't got the numbers, but I know he had less than 10 turnovers, I think, for the entire series as well.
Yeah.
So his taking care of the ball was incredible, and then cashing in from everywhere he had it was incredible.
And also, add to that, these are against guys like young guys in Alvarado who's made himself a name for being a pesky defender. Herb Jones sometimes getting switched on. Like, that's the other crazy part about who he was doing it against. Just special stuff from Chris Paul. And again, pretty wild that we got something we've never seen before. I know Nene went 12 for 12 in a playoff game once, but Nene Hilario.
Wow.
The old Rockets Thunder game.
Yeah, they must have been 11 dunks then.
He went, probably. I didn't check the tape, but I don't think they were jumpers from around the free throw line for Nene in that game. Anything else to add to the Suns Pelicans? What about the Pelicans moving forward here? Let's talk about that a little bit. Trey said it, all the rookies, Jose, Herb, Trey Murphy had a big three in this one. And then you've got your star in Ingram, who played really incredibly well throughout this entire postseason. McCollum, got slowed a bit here in this series, I think a big part because of Bridges' defense. But then you add Zion to this, and you got a great coach in Willie Green. Like, what's the potential for this team even next year?
Well, it really depends on Zion, I think, and what's going on there, because it still seems like there's a little bit of weirdness going on between him and the organisation. That sort of has been the whole story this season. We didn't even know about the injury. Then he was maybe coming back, and then he didn't, and then he was training somewhere else, and then he had a disagreement as to when he was going to come back, and then he's throwing down 360s and between the leg dunks. So he looks great. If you add a guy who can get 27 and 8 a game, shooting 60% to that core, honestly, they should be absolutely in the playoffs and hunting for a top 4 spot. Now, it never always comes together so quickly, but there's no question that Willie Green is loved in that locker room. Those guys all play for him. Valanciunas, I think, played a fantastic role this season. And Brandon Ingram, he's been an all-star before. He showed that in the sort of late stage of this season and in this series as well. And then I think CJ's a very nice vet to have on that team. I think he's a really good fit there. So, and then you mentioned Herb Jones. Reggie was already talking about All-NBA second team, I think, last night for him. I'm not sure if he's going to get it, but
defense.
Oh, sorry, yeah. And then you've got Murphy's good. He can shoot the three. Jose Alvarado, I'm not sure what Jose Alvarado is. Sure. This series, he was perfect. He was the pest for the granddaddy of the pest. In fact, a great moment last night where Chris Paul stopped and got the offensive foul, I guess, when Alvarado ran into him and then fell all over the place. And the delicious irony of Chris Paul.
Where'd you learn that from?
Yeah, exactly. So they've got a really, really bright future, considering, again, we mentioned a lot, the season started off the complete opposite. It was like, this franchise might not win 15 games. And now they should be hunting the playoffs for sure.
It's just even nice to see these home games there in the blender and the crowd going absolutely bonkers.
Wow.
Like, when they started 1-12, there were a bunch of whispers like, they're not going to be in New Orleans all that much longer.
Wasn't it $100 courtside seats?
Something like that.
StubHub or something like that. Yeah.
And man, has that changed in a hurry. And there's a buzz to this team. And what do you think about if you throw a healthy Zion into the mix here, it's a hell of a lot of talent.
The New Orleans Pelicans have gone for it with the CJ McCollum trade. The rookies have worked out. The coaching obviously has worked out. Just shows you need talent. Monty Williams used to be there. This seems like sort of an inexpensive move by David Griffin, but Willie Green just needed some talent. All coaches need talent. They got it. Yeah, it's of course extremely bright. A wild 36-win team versus a 64-win team. We saw a 6-game series that was one for the ages. If you watched every minute, it was really, really, really fun.
Yeah.
And the Pels deserve all the credit. Everyone in that locker room, and hopefully Zion comes back, because it is still a huge question mark. It's not a lock. You see him throwing down dunks in these cool little videos, a 10-second video, but is he coming back? When's he coming back? Otherwise, this got to be very, very, very excited for this team.
I think Pelicans are going to need a passer. They're going to need somebody who really sets the table when Zion comes back, because McCollum wants the ball, Brandon Ingram wants the ball, and Zion wants the ball, and they probably all should get it. Not to mention Jonas Valanciunas in there mashing inside. So I think they're going to have some sort of a table setter, but the talent looks great. I think it'll be a little tricky to fit all those guys together once Zion comes back, because they, at their best, all three of their stars right now are ball handlers who are at their best. Making plays mostly for themselves, sometimes for others. So we'll see exactly what they look like when they are on the court together, but the idea of this team looks great. They're pretty young, but they've got some decent veteran pieces as well in McCollum and Valanciunas, and they just seem to have a lot of balance, which is why they were able to give the Suns so much trouble in this series.
The other game in the Western Conference playoffs last night, Luka Doncic and the Mavs beat the Jazz, just beat the Jazz to advance to the second round. First time Luka's doing that. First time in a long time the Mavericks are going to the second round since they won their title, which is just a weird thing. 2011, they haven't been in the second round. Obviously have had some good teams, but this one, down to the wire. TK, where do you want to start?
This was a pretty fun game of basketball here. Looked like we were going to Game 7, baby! Through the first half, the crowd was lit, the ball was moving, and the Jazz were having better luck from three, which is something that they've needed in this playoff series. They were only 5 for 17, not great shooting, but the Mavericks were only 3 for 18, but that all changed, really, in the third quarter. The Mavs went to their small ball lineup, and surprise, surprise, the Jazz didn't have an answer. Once again, 36-19 in the third quarter for Dallas. They hit 8 threes. Yeah. That's a lot of threes for a single quarter. Just so much space out there. There was a great highlight of Rudy Gobert getting ISO'd on Jalen Brunson, and he was just a crossover machine. I mean, kudos to Rudy. He made him work, but ended up being a jumper in the face from the Brunson burner, which is just a great nerdy nickname.
Yeah.
Like, you had to be in a science lab to know what a Bunsen burner is, but it seems like everybody knows.
Yeah.
It's fun to say.
It is.
Yeah.
It is really fun to say. And honestly, Bunsen burners are pretty fun to play with, too.
Yeah.
But shout out to the Jazz. They didn't go away. They battled back in the fourth quarter. I thought they did a good job of basically saying, Luka, you're not beating us right now. So they would throw a double team at him. They made it a point to get into the lane, to get to the free throw line. They even got 2 assists from Donovan Mitchell to Rudy Gobert inside. Unfortunately, though, for the Jazz, they went 1 of 10 from 3 in the fourth quarter, including a wide-open, game-winning, buzzer-beating miss from Bojan Bogdanovic after a pump fake. Pretty nice play from Quinn Snyder to get him a look.
You can't get a better
It was wide open, man. Just a little bit deep. Doink! Mavs win. First playoff series win since 2011, like you're saying. Also, Rudy Gobert got stung in the face by his own bees. That's just a funny little note in there. Stung in the face by bees.
He's got his own beehive.
Does anyone remember how their season ended in the bubble?
The Utah Jazz?
Yeah.
That was the Jamal Murray.
Yeah, Mike
series.
Conley.
So this was like 50-point battles here?
Yeah, but the last play, Mike Conley had a 3-pointer.
Oh, yes.
That just it basically went
that
down.
That one went in and out. Yeah.
And they were down 2 in that one, and obviously lost that. So
good call.
2 seasons in a well, I guess 2 out of the last 3 seasons it's ended on a buzzer-beating 3 that should have. Now Conley's was a bit more of a fling. It was in transition, but Bogdanovic, what an incredible play there by Snyder. I mean, he's got perfect, and Bogdanovic kind of didn't get that close, to be honest.
No. But he took his time.
Yeah,
let
he did.
the defender fly by him, set his feet a little bit more, and
But this was lost in the third quarter, as Trey mentioned.
Yeah.
Watching back this morning at those threes, they're just wide open too. Far too many of them are wide open. There's guys sort of closing out, but in the NBA, a closeout is not guy just running at you. You've got to be there before he gets into that shot, because they get them off so quickly. And the Mavs just felt it, and you could feel they were like, we've got the momentum here. We're gonna overrun this team. They can't really. They don't have that same sort of ability to do that to us. And then Luka did the same thing to Rudy that he did in game 4 there, where he just danced him, step back 3. Oh my God, like poor Rudy. Like that was good defense. He was right there. Yeah. Luka's just going further and further back. He's leaning back, but it was so clean. So incredible series win still for the Mavericks, I think, to do this. I thought Utah, honestly, apart from that one game where Rudy got the dunk at the end, I know they won game 2. The Mavericks waxed them in this series for the most part, I think.
What do you think, Tas?
Well, it's nice that a series ended on a play that, in like basketball terms, was like an eternity of watching Bojan get open and just watching this shot and having the chance to go. And obviously it was off. But it also hurt just seconds earlier. Mike Conley traveled when they're up 1, and Mike Conley coming down after a Luka miss, and they couldn't do anything. Mitchell gave it to Conley. Conley got into the lane and just kind of got stalled up, just didn't know where to go, and traveled.
Were you surprised they called that too? In all honesty, you see that where they sometimes let it go, an official will. I'm not saying it wasn't. Appeared to be some dragging, of course, of the foot planted there, but you see it a lot, and they're all right. Here we go, let it play out. But nope. I mean, I thought the Mavs bench did a good job calling it. They're all over it. It's right there. It's a travel. I was like, damn, I guess it was. But Conley, he was garbage in this series. He averaged under 10 points per game. Yeah, bad season. I mean, he sort of got embarrassed in this series, I thought. Like, I showed his age. I mean, it's brutal.
Yeah, he could stand there and still bang home shots. I think he still shot 40% from 3. over the course of the season, but he looked older in this series. Yeah, listen, the Jazz had to figure out, I shouldn't be on Conley, shouldn't have come down to that last play. The Jazz should be able to cover open shooters. They just wanted Rudy to stick by the rim. We had John Schumann, our man John Schumann, even just puzzled. Why doesn't the guy who's next to the open shooter come and defend the open shooter? I think that's a fair question.
Yeah. They got weird rotations defensively.
It was odd to see. That's where they should have solved it. And another clincher on the road, just from a person who had no, pony in this race. Awesome to watch. It came down to that last shot. Unfortunate, but the Jazz kind of did it to themselves in this series. So the future, way up in the air for up and down the roster, coaching staff, front office. What the heck is going to happen with this team? Because there's got to be changes.
Well, what's the move? What does Danny Ainge do here? Trey, you're Danny. All right, congratulations. I guess
I would never be.
Really, the question is,
that's an insult to me to call me Danny Ainge.
Are you? Sorry about that. Are you?
You're a multi-sport guy.
Thank you.
Really blowing this up? Are you really, truly, just detonating? And what I mean by that is down to the cement floor here, and that
trade everyone. No team.
Honestly, a real rebuild, or is it? Pick one of the two of your star players, your all-stars, in Donovan and Rudy, and then if that's the case, which one? Where do you go with this team?
It seems to be Donovan Mitchell would be the choice to keep around if you're the Jazz. According to Tony Jones at The Athletic, subscribe at theathletic.com/no-dunks. That's the plan, is to build around Donovan Mitchell. I think he needs to officially be the point guard. I think there's no way you can possibly... I don't think Conley should be back. I don't think you can run... a lineup out there with Donovan Mitchell playing the two, because the guy is a traffic cone on defense, and that has been a huge problem for the Jazz. You move him to the point guard, you put some decent defensive wings around him, maybe you look a little bit better on the perimeter there. The Gobert question it's interesting. He's on a massive contract, but he's still really good at what he does.
Yeah.
Also, he gets exposed in the playoffs quite a bit just because... the way the Jazz play defense, it's going to lead to wide open threes, and a lot of teams want to generate those three-pointers. Maybe another team defends differently with Rudy Gobert and doesn't just necessarily get eviscerated in small ball lineups anymore. So they got a lot of questions to answer. I think other teams would be most interested in acquiring Donovan Mitchell. He seems to be the guy that every team would want. If you're the Knicks, you want Donovan Mitchell more than you want Rudy Gobert, no doubt about it. But that also means the Jazz want it. So they got a lot of questions to answer. Obviously, Quinn Snyder's a big question as well. He seems more like most likely to leave, but I don't know. Rudy wants to retire at Jazz. That's what everybody says, though. So I think a lot of things will change with this Jazz team. I think they'll probably try and build around Donovan Mitchell, but maybe there are tough options here.
Yeah, and Mitchell's got to be better in his leadership, because defensively he was terrible, I thought, as well. Just sloppy on the perimeter there. And even on offense.
He had a bad series. He shot under 40%. He couldn't hit a three to save his life.
Yeah.
He still gets his 25-26. He's good for that.
But it's kind of empty, though, isn't it? It's a bit more like he's just going to get his. And,
it definitely hurts when you get your team 25, but you probably gave up a good 25.
Oh, exactly, yeah. So, there's no doubt for me that the offensive talent that he's got is probably the one you do want to keep over Rudy. But the good news for the Jazz is if they decide to move on from one of these, they should get a really good package in return, because a ton of teams will take Rudy Gobert. His reputation might be a little bit up and down, but so many teams would love to have a guy who can rebound and defend and block shots and do all those things. And Rudy's a fairly good teammate by all aspects, as far as he understands he doesn't get a ton of opportunities on the offensive end, but he always puts in when he can on the defensive end. So I'm not suggesting a trade here, but I'm saying someone like Brooklyn, for example, who'd have a very shallow internal defense.
Yeah.
They would love to have Rudy Gobert back there.
There'd be a lot of teams.
Yeah. So the Charlotte Hornet, but then they don't really have all that enticing stuff for the Jazz to take back. So
Gordon Hayward back to Utah, baby.
I mean, from the contractual.
Is his barber still there?
Probably.
Contractually, yes, something like that.
Inflation, but it's probably more than $30.
But the Jazz, the Jazz. So if they do field offers, they should get a healthy offer for either or both if they decide to. To me, Snyder's had a fairly long run. He'll get a coaching job somewhere else. I think people like that. But I think you just need a new voice now if you're going to go in a different direction, because otherwise it's 3 seasons in a row now the Jazz just honestly flamed out in the playoffs. Yeah. And especially with Luka missing the first part of this series. I mean, the opening was there, but they got Brunson Bernard.
There's just no way, though, that this core is back next season, right? You're betting against that being the case. Like this Danny Ainge too makes moves. He ain't afraid to
But is he?
make some. Well, he's a part of the obviously the decision-making tree there.
Zanuck, isn't it?
Justin Zanuck is their GM, and
I'm
Danny
assuming
is
Danny's got a bit of.
No,
a voice
I know,
in that.
but I'm not sure who sort of has the final say there. But obviously, Danny wouldn't be there if he didn't have some influence.
And so you think one of the will be gone, and Quinn Snyder probably is done in Utah as well.
I think the roster goes first. To me, Trader Danny's going to make something happen. I think Danny is there to, just definitely blow this thing up. The Jazz have gone from the Utah Jazz to the Utah Blues. It's, Donovan Mitchell, thinking about that.
Did you write that one?
Well, I just did now. After Trey was saying, maybe we shouldn't have a team. I mean, just go without a roster. Let's maybe you change the name. Go from different type of music. Blues.
Sure.
For now, St. Louis Blues. They work. They won a Stanley Cup.
Shout out to John Hamm.
Oh, he's a St. Louis Blues fan.
The only reason I know that is I just saw a clip on Twitter of our Canadian friends, Renee Paquette and help me out. She works at the NHL Network. Jackie Redmond. Yeah. They're talking to John Hamm.
He's a Blues fan. Yeah, they won the cup a couple of years ago, I guess. I don't know. Wayne Gretzky was a member of the Blues once. Weird. Anyway, what were we talking about? The Utah Jazz.
You wanted to get rid of the entire team name, the franchise. I don't know what you were saying.
Does Donovan Mitchell want to be there? I think that's.
I don't think so at all.
And at least Rudy Gobert has a beehive. And started a home.
Some roots.
Well, he's going to be 30 soon. It's not like he's young, and you would tend to lean again with the younger player, but it didn't seem like Donovan really played with his heart and soul in this series.
I agree.
And Rudy did, even if it wasn't all that beneficial.
And I thought Rudy was better than Mitchell in this series, no doubt about it. The defense was a problem, but the defense was also a problem because of Donovan Mitchell. But I also don't think Dwayne Wade bought into the Jazz to coach Rudy, or to have a Rudy Gobert-led team. I think he's there because of Donovan Mitchell. So I think that probably has a factor in it as well. There's a lot of new voices, obviously, in the Jazz front office right now. So we shall see. I mean, Mitchell's going to get the most back for sure. Yeah. Being a younger guy, being a more famous guy, and just kind of like a higher ceiling kind of player. But I don't know. You saw me. I was trying to work trades to get Rudy Gobert to the Bulls. Teams will take him. Once he gets away from the Jazz, if you put him on a team with a better lob passer, he'll be even better as well.
Yeah.
For sure. I wonder, Donovan, I know we make this comparison to Dwayne Wade, but Dwayne Wade wanted to be in Miami until he didn't want to be in Miami. And then
he wanted to be in Miami again.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, bad.
Had to put the Cavs patch on that Hall of Fame jacket. Had to put, I guess they just put the Heat patch once. They didn't put it twice. It's just, I don't think that Mitchell wants to be there. It doesn't feel like it. And what's his number one issue? If Rudy goes, is he happy to be there? I suppose that's a possibility, but it's odd watching from this side after seeing Donovan Mitchell be, number one guy, and maybe he has to be a point guard, as Tony Jones said at The Athletic. That was a good little rundown. But he can score with the best of them, and then this series, he just wasn't even close to that guy.
All right, well, let's move on. Let's look ahead. Suns-Mavs. That is the second round series, also known as the Western Conference semifinals.
Why aren't the Western Conference quarterfinals the first round?
I know. This is what I said. I asked him, what do you like? Do you like calling them the semifinals or second round?
I'm a second round.
Second round, man. Yeah, of course you are.
Because you say semifinals, and then is it the semifinals of the conference, or is it the semifinals? Because you go from semifinals to finals to finals.
That's right, Tas. That's why it's a second round here.
Sorry if I missed this conversation.
No, it's all right.
You don't get a T-shirt if you win the conference semis, though. Okay, you only get a T-shirt if you win the conference finals.
Yes,
that's a good point.
That's how you determine accolades in your life. Free T-shirts. Okay, so Suns-Mavericks. This is going to get started early next week, I believe. Do we have the schedule? Is that one out? It's going to be probably Monday or Tuesday.
Monday.
Is it? Okay.
It's a Monday, yeah.
So let's break it down. Again, things to watch, Tas, X factors, ultimately predictions I think we can make here maybe today. I guess we would have Monday show too, but have at it. You excited for this one?
Yeah, for sure. I think starting from just the basics, the Suns aren't going to leave Mav shooters open the way the Jazz did.
Right.
The simple as that. And I think this is going to be a lot on Jalen Brunson's shoulders to score a lot in the mid-range, because the Suns are going to do a good job of taking Luka away to some degree. I think they're going to they're going to find a way to get Mikal Bridges on him and show him some length. I don't think if we look up and down the roster, the Mavs can win without Jalen Brunson having a real good night. If he has an off night, I don't think they win because the Suns have the advantage inside. We saw what DeAndre Ayton did against Jonas Valanciunas. He was really, really good. He had 22 in this last game. Now he's going to go up against Dwight Powell and Maxi Kleber. Advantage there. The Mavs, if they have any advantage, it's high-scoring guards. And I think Luka's going to have to trust Jalen because they're going to get the ball out of his hands and show him a billion different defenses. So it's up to Dinwiddie, but mainly Jalen Brunson, because he can get into the interior more than Spencer Dinwiddie can and score. The Suns are going to be 100% healthy, as healthy as you possibly can be, 3 nights off, and Devin Booker, fairly healthy as he played here in Game 6 with 32 minutes. I say the Mavs have a bit of an advantage at the guard spot. Do they? I mean, I don't. That's their only thing that they can really truly look at and say, maybe we have more scoring guards if Devin Booker and Chris Paul are forced to guard Jalen Brunson and Spencer Dinwiddie, mostly Brunson. Again, I think it's on Brunson to have big nights. They're going to have to score a lot. The threes aren't going to be raining down as much as they were against Utah. So to me, it's a lot on Brunson's shoulders. This Suns team, as we said about the Pels, they got warm. They're ready to play good ball and get out on very good shooters. And the Mavs, they want to shoot 40, 45 times. And hope they go down, but the Suns are going to be out there, man. So I think it's going to be Brunson in the mid-range. He's got to score a ton.
What do you think, Mike?
Well, Finney-Smith, I think, and Maxi Kleber as well. If those guys are hitting threes, then the Mavs are a chance. But I think the perimeter defense from Phoenix is going to be much better in this series than it was against the Utah Jazz. And also, the Mavs really are going to have to figure out how to do something about DeAndre Ayton. In the series against Jonas Valanciunas, he averaged 20 points on 70% shooting. And he got 10 rebounds a game.
It goes completely overlooked, too.
Oh, yeah.
No one really talks about Ayton at all, really.
He's got that mid-range, just like, you catch it and throw it. And it's a sort of a Jokic, like, pushy, sort of floaty shot, but very, very effective. I mean, to knock in 70% is incredible. So Dwight Powell is going to have his hands full. Whoever's on, Kleber, they're going to throw a few guys at him. But the Suns know that that's a big advantage for them. So they're going to spread the floor with their shooters, and then they can try to take advantage. But if those Mavs guys are hitting them shots, they're a chance.
Well, you had DFS hit 17 threes in this last series. You had Bullock hit 17 threes in this last series. Maxi Kleber hit 16. He shot over 50% from 3. In addition to Brunson hitting a lot, Luka, can catch fire. They're going to need to knock down a ton of threes again, like they did against the Jazz. But I'm with Tas. They're not going to be as open.
Definitely not.
As they were against
Suns are
Utah.
good at defense.
Exactly.
They all play defense.
Yeah.
And they play it on the perimeter, which is big, which I'm with you, Lee. I think Ayton is definitely the X factor here. He wasn't very good against the Mavericks during the regular season. He shot 60%, which is nice, but only 13 points per game. Just, he needs to shoot the ball, because the Suns do not have a small ball lineup, really. They don't have a small ball center, and the Mavs are at their best when they're playing small, but Ayton should be able to punish that, and he's a lot more talented than Gobert is offensively, but there are just times when he drifts and doesn't impose his will inside. If he's able to be consistent for this entire game, that's a huge win for the Suns.
I'm really excited to see Bridges and Doncic go.
Big time.
Those arms of Mikal Bridges.
Why do you want to keep
I
calling
know.
him Mike?
I know.
Mike Bridges.
Mikal. There's a football player called Michael Bridges who used to play. Anyway, soccer. But this is the sort of challenge that Bridges is going to be like, I want Doncic. I want to be the guy who sort of shuts him down and slows him down. Now, he won't shut him down, but he can certainly make life difficult for him because he's so athletic, he's so long, and he's quick. And Doncic has still got this Kyle Anderson pace that can still fool the other defenders to getting those shots off. But that should be really exciting. I know Tim Cato mentioned he wonders if they might put Bridges on Brunson because they were former college teammates, so he knows how to play him, and almost stifle that second man first. I don't think so, but maybe at some point in the series we'll see it if Brunson is having one of those really good games.
Well, this is what Tas was talking about. Like, can Brunson play much better than he just played in a 6-game series? I mean, the guy averaged 28 points per game. I mean, 4 and 4. Like, he shot 48% from the floor, decent from 3 on a lot of attempts, 36% from downtown. Like, I don't think Brunson has another level to him here, but you're asking. I think you are having to ask a lot. Like, you gotta be this 25 a night, 25 to 30 here for us to win 4 of these games against the Suns and pull off the upset. I mean, I'm with you. I agree with what you're saying, but that's a lot to ask from this guy, I think.
Yeah, and those numbers would be a heck of an accomplishment without Luka there because he wasn't there for half the series, so he had the ability to just go for 40. So if he gets those numbers, then that's the Mavs' recipe for me because I don't think they're going to outscore DeAndre Ayton on the inside. And Luka is going to have Mikal Bridges on him. I think Jalen Brunson has to, hopefully, be able to take that Chris Paul matchup or that Devin Booker matchup and lick his lips and go at it and create for others as well. I think Luka's going to trust Brunson. I think he did a good job of trusting his other guys in 4, 5, 6 when he came back. But that's the key for me is Brunson being able to go off.
It's just like so funny to think. Like, imagine going around Mike Conley for a series to then Chris Paul, even Booker, who puts in a lot more effort defensively. I thought he had a great little stop on Ingram there last night down the stretch. Actually, like really, it made it difficult at least for Ingram to try and hit a shot. That's going to be a bit of a change. Cam Johnson, yeah, great point. Okay, well, let's start making predictions on this. Suns, Mavericks. Tas, get us started.
I can't bet against the Phoenix Suns. I think that first round series was such a nice little warm up for them. They have these 3 days off. Mm-hmm. They will be as close to 100% as possible. And, Mikal Bridges is a good matchup. I know Luka has that change of pace, but Mikal Bridges also has a change of pace. Like, you can't shake that dude. I mean, he is going to be on him as much as the Phoenix Suns can possibly get him to stick on him. So
Luka could try and get him it could get him into foul trouble with his just physicality. Mm-hmm. I think, it's the one thing that Bridges isn't going to have on him in terms of just size, But he's a smart defender, so he picks up a couple quick, cheap ones. So I'm sure he'll adapt, but sorry to cut you off.
I wonder if Luka, I say he's going to trust his guys. I hope he does, because this is Luka in round 2 for the first time. Very exciting. I thought he tends to get a teeny bit shot happy, and that happened a little bit in Game 6, and I hope for his sake and the Mavs' sake, they're going to get the most out of their team, I think, if he is trusting, again, of all the guys, Brunson, Dinwiddie, and Dorian Finney-Smith, who I love the DFS acronym. It's fun to say.
Daily Fantasy Sports.
Daily Fantasy Sports, wow. I've never thought of that. I always think of DMX. I always think of
DMX.
Yeah. DFS, what you really want.
That's good, too. Wow, they should play that in the arena.
Yeah, I guess. If they're allowed. They should. Yeah. Anyway, I got the Suns being able to shut down Luka and friends and being able to get to those 3-point shooters. Give me in 6.
Okay, Suns in 6. Trey, let's go to you next.
I'm right with Tas. I think it's Suns in 6. They've been the best team this entire year. I think that they match up well enough against the Mavericks to continue that, and I think that the Mavericks are going to find it a lot harder playing against Phoenix than they did against the Jazz. One more question, though, is if Jay Crowder will actually be able to shoot the ball, because he finished 3 for 26.
He's due.
Yeah, he's due.
At some point,
he's due for a big series.
Oh, we didn't even talk about the FJ Crowder shirts that they acquired during the game and were wearing.
Yeah. But I also do think the Mavs can shoot the ball, Like, and if they're hitting threes, that's a huge swing stat in their favor.
Jay Crowder's having 5 threes in game 1. He just is 5 for 5, probably.
Calling it.
Look, Phoenix swept them in the regular season. Does that mean anything? Probably not. Maybe it does. Who knows? I just think seeing Devin Booker back last night made me feel like he's going to get a couple of days rest.
Yep.
They're at full strength. They're at home. I love the Ayton advantage they have there, so I'll also be on the Suns in 6.
Okay, wow. I seriously contemplated Suns in 4. Straight sweep. But I'll split the difference with you guys. I'll go Suns in 5. I actually think they're going to be dominant. I loved what happened in the first round against Pelicans, said that time and time again, and it's going to be a rude awakening for the Mavs. Also, they're playing a team that can hit threes. This is the other part. The Jazz could not hit a 3 in this series against them. There were looks. They were there, but they couldn't knock them down consistently. That's not going to be the case with the Suns. And yeah, Booker, barely really even talked about him. There are going to be times in the series where, he's the best player actually out there on the floor, and that's with Luka and that's with Chris Paul and stuff like that. So I'll go Suns in 5. But close games, which is going to favor Phoenix as well. That's the other part. I mean, these are close games. You got Chris Paul and Booker making these decisions.
What about Luke?
Have they even? I mean, Luka does go for the home run shot a little too much for my liking, but then he'll go yard a couple times. You're like, wow, holy crap! He's Rob Deere. He swings for the fences. Yeah, they knocks it out of the park, or he goes down with a strikeout. You remember Rob Deere?
No, but I remember Paul Konerko.
Who?
Paul Konerko. I had him in fantasy. I had him in fantasy baseball. I swear. Homer to deep left. Paul Konerko, first baseman. He was I loved him in fantasy baseball.
Deep left. He's a lefty hitter. I thought he'd be a
Opposite
pull.
field.
Is he a lefty? I thought he was a righty.
I don't know.
Fact check.
Maybe
the
I'm thinking of
baseball,
another
man.
Paul. Maybe I'm thinking of Paul O'Neill.
Man, he just homered non-stop.
Where did that? Here it
Right-handed.
comes.
There you go.
Right-handed.
Is that his
Right.
name is Paul Crokinole? So you said? You ever played that?
No.
Oh, it's a great game.
Alejandro Kirk is the new Paul Konerko.
Okay. All right. I got Suns in 5. These guys got Suns in 6. Let's hear from you guys out there in the stream team. Listening later, tweet at us your predictions for Suns-Mavs. Get started early next week.
I love baseball.
Sorry.
I love baseball.
Baseball.
Baseball media day photos way better than basketball media
Yeah,
day
you're right.
photos. You just get more of a breadth of player.
Yeah, because they just look like that guy that I'm looking at your screen right now. Maybe we'll send it to JD and have a look at it after the break. That
Yeah,
guy
we gotta see this guy.
Guy looks like he's got a nice lawn and he's got 2 kids and that just looks like a dude that I see in my neighborhood. Anyway, we'll take our first break and then get into the Eastern Conference game from last night, unfortunately, and then look ahead to Sixers-Heat. Don't go anywhere. But let's talk about Saxx, baby. Not talking about Kenny G. Let's talk about underwear that keeps your balls in the place to be. Let's talk about Saxx. That took me 8 hours to come up with that.
Worth it.
Yeah. Saxx is obsessed with the comfort of your manhood. They make the most comfortable underwear for men thanks in large part to their patented ballpark pouch. That's fun to say. Ballpark pouch. But Saxx does more than just make kick-ass underwear. They also have a wide range of high-performance sport apparel. Let's talk about the 2-in-1.
Saxx, baby.
No, yeah, it's catchy, isn't it?
Yeah, it
Let's
is.
talk about the 2-in-1 sports shorts. These things are legit. I wore them last night. Each style comes with an integrated liner and the
pouch.
what's it called?
Ballpark pouch.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's
like a
their
ballpoint pen. It's a ballpark pouch.
that's their
I actually
patented
never thought of it
technology that holds your balls in place. The beauty of Saxx's 2-in-1 shorts is you don't have to worry about wearing underwear. And you know how money that is down here in Hotlanta?
Cool.
Got humid this week.
The less fabric you need on your body, the better. So remove the underwear, wear the 2-in-1 shorts because it's integrated. 4-way stretch shell, breathable mesh liner, ballpark pouch,
Beep.
pockets,
Yeah. Pocket dogs.
Yeah.
Pocket dog in there.
boom. And then there's Saxx's Sport to Life short. This style, it's built to go back and forth, right, between sport and everyday activities. You're in the gym. Now you're grabbing a beer. Now you're back in the gym. Now you're hanging with friends.
Ooh, working out after a few
Now you're
beers
eating a
there.
hot dog.
2 days.
Now you're doing bar 3.
Oh, yeah.
You're wearing the same shorts. Here and there, here and there. It doesn't matter. This guy does it all. These shorts are guys.
These shorts are guys. I would agree.
That's
And
better
you know-
than this.
Well, that's better than this. Ballpark pouch. And you already know everything is backed by Saxx's comfort guarantee. That's 100% satisfaction or your money back. Take advantage of our special offer today. Head on over to saxx.com/nodunks and get 10% off plus free shipping using the promo code NODUNKS. That's saxx.com/nodunks. Promo code NODUNKS for 10% off and free shipping. JD, what do you got, my man?
Yeah, Grammarly, my old friend. Grammarly's free and premium features can save you time and give you the confidence of knowing your writing is professional. Now, me, I'm a lot of things. Professional, I don't really consider myself very professional. It's kind of a side effect of, rolling out of bed in your jammies, coming down to your garage and cranking out a classic with your friends. I mean, is this even a job? I mean, it doesn't really feel like it, but the reality is we work for a massive company, and Grammarly really helps me communicate with our colleagues with clarity, with clarity adjustments, formality level, and my favorite, tone detector. One time, I actually ruined someone's weekend. She told me that because of one of my emails. I don't care for your tone, her email said to me. It's very terse. And I was being terse. In fact, I was being rude, but she must have been using Grammarly because terse really nails it and makes her sound very professional. And Grammarly has a ton of features and helps you Save time, strike the right tone, and deliver high-quality work with things like Grammarly Premium's full sentence rewrites, which help you effectively convey your ideas and avoid miscommunication. And of course, I've already mentioned it, Grammarly's free tone detector. You don't even need the premium version for that one, and it ensures your message is never misinterpreted. Get through those emails and your work quicker by keeping it concise, confident, and effective with Grammarly. Go to Grammarly.com/NoDunks to sign up for a free account. And when you're ready to upgrade to Grammarly Premium, get 20% off just for being a No Dunks listener. That's 20% off at GRAMMARLY.com/NoDunks.
Peloton! My old friend.
You said that so weird. Just the word Peloton coming out of your mouth at that level is
Marketing, though, stays in your brain. It worked.
Peloton.
Exactly, yeah. Peloton is pushing you further with so much new on the Peloton bike and Peloton Bike Plus. New classes, new music, new ways to keep your workouts fun and motivating. Work out to the music of a single artist for an entire class, from your favorite hits to the deep cuts. For me, that could mean I start with something from, say, Rihanna, Nelly, Kesha, maybe.
Yeah.
And then I'll ease off a little bit as the class wears down. Maybe a little Robbie Williams, a little Mariah Carey, maybe. You know.
Kesha.
Maybe. Kesha, yeah, she's great.
I'm surprised by Kesha for sure.
Yeah, you can't not get into a movement like if you hear Kesha on the radio. You're bopping away. No question about it.
I love a movement. So movement is great.
Movement is key. Look, it's not just my musical taste is pop to rock to hip hop and others. There are over 100 artist series to choose from. Find your favorite music and turn on your next workout into a concert. Peloton has a workout for every goal, day, and mood. De-stress from a long day with 30 minutes of strength and 20 minutes of cardio, or just do a quickie, a 15-minute total body class before work. Stay motivated while having fun with bike workouts, yoga, meditation, dance, cardio, and more. Visit onepeloton.com to learn more. That's ONEPELOTON.com.
All right, back in the Classic Factory here. Drop podcast on a Friday. Let's talk about the shitty game from last night. Joel Embiid scored 33 as the Sixers finish off the Raps in Game 6. Final score, 132-97. And Tas, we got the Raptors, unfortunately, with their patented third quarter collapse where they just can't score. And the Sixers broke things open in really the middle of that third quarter. They went on a 22-3 run. Raps couldn't score for like 4 or 5 minutes. I think they hit one bucket over like a 7-minute stretch. Maxey hitting threes, feeling good. And then Philly led by 20 with 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. And it was over. And it was tough to watch, obviously, as a Raps fan. And everybody wanted a Game 7. And Philly's Big Four, they said, no, we're not going back to Philly. They're going to boo us there. We got to win this game. But Joel Embiid, 33 and 10. Harden, 22 and 15. I thought this was the best he had played in this series. Maxey, again, back to early Maxey in the series, 25 points, 5 of 12 from deep. And then Tobias Harris, who was really consistent all series long for the most part, 19 and 11. And then you had Danny Green splashing threes. As the crap cherry on top of that Sixers Sunday for me. So everybody played well, and the Raptors, they just couldn't stay in front of a single Sixers attacker, I thought, last night. And they got hammered. Good win.
The Sixers came out of their locker room and said, we're finishing the series right here, right now. Yeah, the Raps couldn't stay in front of anyone. A lot of it was, there's so many guys coming at us. They had several guys coming at them. Even though they scored 132 points, I do think this game was lost in the fact that there's just not enough shooting around Pascal Siakam. He was the point guard getting into the lane, and nobody really wanted to let it rip from the outside because they weren't comfortable hitting shots. That's where they missed Fred VanVleet. Sometimes you're going to get these big offensive games from talented guys in the NBA like Embiid and, as you said, Harden, his best game, and Maxey, who's come and played at another level. The Danny Green shots were definitely dagger Danny's, because if you make him put it on the floor, like the Raps were doing, they were getting out to him on the defensive end, and he had to put down a dribble, and he was still hitting shots. This was one of those special Danny games, and those were big points, I think, as the game went on. Yeah, not enough shooting. Great season, though. But that was Raps fans still waiting. They're still waiting until that final buzzer, until they checked everybody out. Great fans up there in Toronto, even though they've priced out a bunch of them. And I know.
I thought the crowd sucked. I'm going to say it. Compare that crowd last night. I'm talking about the first half when it was still a game. Compare that to what was going on in New Orleans and even Utah. It was night and day. It was jarring going from that game to those other games. The electricity, the hype in the crowd. I thought it was
scary.
lame.
Sometimes Raptors fans get a little scared.
They stuck around and gave them the ovation that I think the team deserved from a good season, and coming back, obviously, from Tampa and all that. Kudos to those people. But I thought it was pretty brutal. Am I wrong? It wasn't translating.
There was some butt squeezing.
Yeah,
I think in that first.
Why? That's a weird game to be butt squeezing, because you're down 3-0 in the series. Like, we thought this was going to be a zoo up there, and it wasn't. It was, and I think
a petting zoo.
It was brutal in my opinion. I didn't think they brought, and it was a classic third quarter, nobody back in their seats, and that's when the Sixers go on their runs. Like, I mean, you could set your watch by it. It's amazing. But the Sixers played an incredible game, and maybe that's a big part of it. It's like they helped take the crowd out of it.
Yeah.
But I just don't think they were really even there from the jump. But maybe it's that 7 o'clock start got him in Toronto there, TK.
Yeah.
Drake was late.
I think the problem was that Harden was too good last night.
Yeah.
That guy was that was like the Harden that you're expecting if you traded for him, if you're Philadelphia. And I thought they had just a smart game plan where they would run a pick and roll, they would get Gary Trent Jr. onto James Harden, and then they would bring Joel Embiid up, because Gary Trent Jr. is much smaller than Embiid, picks him off, and then it's just a runway to the rim for Harden. So I thought that was pretty smart from Doc Rivers. Shout out to that coaching adjustment from Doc. He was right, man. The Sixers did have another playoff gear here, and it came out in the second half. They won the second half by 34 points.
Yeah.
That's wild. Like, this was a close game at halftime, even if the crowd wasn't bumping. But sometimes you just got to have your worst playoff loss at home in franchise history. It happens to everyone, you know?
Yeah. I mean, even I'll admit, as a Raps fan, in the first half when it was a 1-point game, it was first off way too high scoring for the Raps to really win it. It was like in the 60s, right? It was 61-60, I think, at the half. And also it was like Chris Boucher was the best player for the Raptors. It was like, okay, he's killing it, doing work on the boards, keeping them alive. And then Gary Trent Jr. was hitting shots, and it was like, oh, I'm not sure I like the Raps' chances, Lee, in the second half if Boucher and Gary Trent Jr. are the ones sort of leading the team. Siakam had a good overall game, but it was a bunch of offers from a bunch of the other guys, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You know, OG and Precious and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think, though, for Philadelphia, they had 32 assists in this game. That's the most in the whole series, and they had 29 in game one and the other blowout. So when they move that ball, they're just way more effective on the offensive end. And Danny Green, he kept them in the second quarter. He hit his all four threes then. And that was kind of like, all right, if Danny Green's doing that, you've got to capitalize on that for the Raptors. And they just weren't able to. And then in that little run, Maxey, I thought, was really good. He hit a couple of threes and he pushed the pace as well. Harris got the corner three. And that sort of like was like, hey, just run at these guys and see if you can break them down, because they've been playing heavy minutes, the Raptors, no excuses. They've been playing heavy minutes, though, and I think that sort of just caught up to them a little bit. They didn't have the legs. And Precious, he's been a little... he's been good in this series.
He has.
Wasn't good last night, though. Not at all. And OG, I didn't think... he was okay, but he didn't really have it last night, I didn't think. So the Raptors...
Foul trouble stunk.
Yeah, and the Raptors just had to be... They had to be like the Suns, had to be perfect. And they were pretty good in the first half, but that third quarter blew it open. And Joel Embiid, he was bottling it all up.
Oh, yeah.
And we got it. We got the airplane out of him.
Yep.
So congratulations to the Sixers, though, because they answered a lot of questions in this game, in this series. They were under the pump, for sure. You could feel Doc Rivers, that sort of thing he had with the media, that was him feeling the pressure of, like, we don't want to blow it. James Harden hadn't been good. He was much more aggressive, just aggressive last night. Like, he just hasn't been that. And then, the fact that they were on the road, the Raptors were like feeling good, everything's going their way, and the Sixers have a convincing victory. So congratulations to them. They deserve it.
Yeah, moving on. Just to wrap up the Raptors season, you said it was a good season.
Damn
overall.
right. It was.
Yeah, because for what reasons? What are you pointing at?
Well, the over-under win total, let's start with that, was 34.5 or so. Smashed it.
Yeah.
And they overcame a ton of injuries to get to that mark. It's surprising when you look back at their season and how many guys were out, and Fred basically being half a Fred in the last 30 games of the season. They came together. when it was unexpected. Scotty Barnes was the biggest revelation of all of them, being the Roddy. People will say it's a Roy. It's not Rookie of the Year. Just say Roy. It's fine. The way he came along and stole the show and added a piece to this Raptors team that was surprising. Even if you were a Masai Ujiri believer, to have Scotty Barnes come out and play this way as the number 4 pick, that's the biggest revelation of them all. And Pascal Siakam shut up a lot of people with what he did. He came from the season that, he was a monster in 2019, and then the bubble playoffs didn't work out for him, and then last season was a down season, but he came back to be that guy he was in 2019. Maybe not a number 1 guy, but if he had shooters around him, things would have been different in this series, I think.
Yeah, I would just add to that too, and this is no surprise with the Raptors and their organization, but development from Precious Achiuwa, who had a bad Game 6, no doubt, but got better as the season went on. Boucher, obviously, Gary Trent Jr. too, so you're seeing that development from some of their guys. They avoided the play-in tournament and got Scotty Barnes some reps here, like a playoff series, and they made it interesting for an extra week when they went down 3-0 and Embiid hits that huge 3 to take that game. You're like, oh, they could have just rolled over and died, and they didn't, and they won 2 games and had a lot of people, including myself, convinced it was at least going 7, and they were going to become one of those rare teams to do it. But Sixers just had all their guys, led by Embiid too. I loved him say, give me the damn ball.
Yeah.
I'm parking my ass right in the paint and give me the ball. And he was upset at times when it wasn't happening. It was great.
In the first
and then
half,
you're right, Harden. And it's not like you don't need Harden scoring 40 points.
No.
You got him beat. You need Harden just being aggressive, getting into the paint and setting up shooters and getting to the line, of course. And then when he starts feeling it, then you see the old Harden, the little bounce back sidestep 3, and you hit a couple of those too. So yeah, they got it going here for Game 6. They looked like the much better team. I mean, that's the truth.
Definitely.
For the start of the series, and then of course at the end. But yeah, Raptors gave them a run at least for their money and gave us a couple more shows and games to talk about. Well, let's get into the Heat Sixers preview then. Let's do it, because this one starts on Monday, Game 1, South Florida. Top-seeded Heat, remember, beat the Hawks in 5. Took the Sixers 6 games to move on from the Raps. So keys to watch, X factors, and predictions. Trey.
I think this one's kind of tough to call because the Sixers have the best player in Joel Embiid. Maybe they could have the best 2 players, depending on what you're getting from James Harden. That's probably a game-to-game thing. But the Heat definitely have a deeper team, a better coach. They're much more consistent, and they have solid top-level talent as well. But I guess the first question is health. I think Jimmy Butler, not really anything to worry about. Seemed like he was just resting in Game 5. I think it was his first playoff game he ever missed. Still found a way to get a $15,000 fine by dropping the humps on the sideline. So contributing in other ways, which is nice. Lowry, though, definitely more concerning. Hamstrings are the worst injury to have in the playoffs this season. A lot of hamstrings going around right now, but if Lowry's able to play, the matchups just make sense across the board, really, for both teams on both sides. Embiid and Bam, sure. Harden and Butler, sure. Maxey and Lowry, I assume. Harris and Tucker, Green and Strus. I've got a lot more faith in Miami's bench. What it comes down to, I think, is who shoots threes better. This series was split in the regular season 2-2. The winning team made more threes in every single one of those games, and it really makes sense when you think about it. The Heat just shoot threes. They like to shoot threes. That's where they get a lot of their offense. And the Sixers, that's what their role guys have to do after you collapse on Embiid or Harden gets into the paint and kicks it out. So that's where it's all going to come down to, who is able to get hot from the outside. I do think because both teams are solid defensively and they're going to make it tough on their opponents. Like, the Heat are going to throw some crazy stuff at Joel Embiid to try and take him out of his game. They'll obviously make it tough on Harden as well. And then the Sixers have just solid defensive talent in Embiid and Thibault if he's able to stay on the court there. So this seems to me to be a really tough series. I think these teams are going to hate each other by the end of the series, no doubt. I look forward to Jimmy Butler and Joel Embiid. I think they like each other. I think Jimmy's a big Joel Embiid fan. But they also love talking trash to each other, so that should be pretty fun.
Yeah, well, I think Embiid wanted them to keep Jimmy, didn't he? And he sort of has made that clear. And Jimmy has really stepped it up in the playoffs. He did miss that last game, but otherwise he had the 45-point game against the Hawks, and he's been shooting that 3 well, which he doesn't usually shoot. So that's going to be huge. I'm really interested to see the Bam and Joel Embiid matchup. If one of those gets the other guy in foul trouble, that's going to leave a huge hole for the other team.
Right.
Because they don't really have DeAndre Jordan's not coming out there to cause any problems there for Bam. So, but the good thing again about Miami, they don't rely on one guy to have to do that 45-point game. They've got a very good bench. Tyler Hero, you know that Gabe Vincent, Max Strus is going to come off the bench and give them everything. So it's going to come down, I think, a lot to as well what those role players like. What was Tyrese Maxey going to give him in this series? He was really good for a couple of games against the Raptors, not so good in a couple others, but he's quick. For example, a matchup against Kyle Lowry, he can get past Kyle Lowry, I think, but then Vincent and Strus and those guys can probably cause him a
Vincent
few more.
especially.
Yeah, they'll get right in his face. So, and Tyler Hero, what sort of impact is he going to have in this series? I think that's going to be huge. So this one should be a 90s style basketball. I think they're going to be grinding in this.
Yeah.
You know, PJ Tucker's going to want that Joel Embiid matchup for a few possessions too, and he's just going to jump on him and bite him.
Kinky. I'm salivating at the Bam and Embiid matchup here.
Yeah.
I think Bam is going to take this one personally because he feels like he was overlooked in the defensive player of the year and all that, and he's like, okay, I'll go and shut this guy down. They only met once in the regular season. Embiid only shot 4 of 15. Got his free throws though. He got to 22 points, but Bam played him well. They'll live, I think, a lot with just Bam playing him straight up. Send doubles here and there. Keep him on his toes and try and force him into turnovers. But they're going to be confident with Bam being able to quote unquote contain him. And I can't wait to watch that unfold and how Embiid handles it.
No doubt they're going to try and do it one-on-one. This Heat team is still a little bit overlooked to me, even though they took care of the Hawks. When I was in Vegas, they were definitely the second screen experience. They weren't the prime spot, even though their game was coming to a close and the Wolves and Grizzlies still had like a full quarter, and the Heat Hawks were just in the last minute, still on the secondary screen. I think people are forgetting Bam is that good, and I think that creates some problems for Tyrese Maxey and for James Harden as well. If unlike the Sixers series where the Raptors had to double Embiid, they had to throw so many bodies, and that I think really helped out Maxey and helped out a juicy Harden when he wanted to play like he did in Game 6 there. So I think the Heat just have that extra gear that the Sixers showed in Game 6 against the Raps, but I don't think they can do it consistently. And so I think that the matchups are a little bit better for the Miami Heat. I think Spoelstra is going to go deep on that bench. He's going to throw out a bunch of guys, as you guys said. Gabe Vincent will probably get some maxi minutes, even though he's not considered the starting guard, depending on what happens with Lowry. I like the week off that Jimmy Butler got, essentially. Yep. He played on Sunday. And that was his last game. He's not going to have to play till Monday, so it's a full 7 days there. I think that the Heat are a little bit fresher, and they have they have extra gear. They got the depth. The 3-point shot is really interesting. What's going to happen there? But I do like the matchups for the Heat in this one.
Predictions, Trey. What do you think? This is tough. I actually, I feel like a lot of these second round matchups, I know we're going to get to Celtics-Bucks and make our official predictions in a second here. It's difficult. I'm like, I could go either way with some of these, but where do you start, Trey?
Yeah, I guess people were right. The top 4 in the Eastern Conference is pretty tough here. I hate to see a 7 in here. I got Heat in 7, but it makes me feel like such a coward. Like, you can't really go either way. Like, that's the coward's way of picking a series. But I'm going Heat in 7. Okay. I just have a little bit more faith in the Heat in a do or die situation, and they would also have home court advantage. But this should be a banger of a series. This is the fight series.
Okay. This is the fight series. Yeah. Somebody maybe misses a game even.
Oh, yeah.
Throw it out there. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, well, Jimmy in Philadelphia, yeah, he's going to be talking smack to the fans.
Jesus.
This is tough. I think the reason I'm going with the Heat is home court and that defense that we saw. Now, it's different when they're going against the Hawks versus Philadelphia. But I just think a little bit like with Joel Embiid against the Raptors, I feel he might have to play 40 to 44 minutes a game to really be effective, because the Sixers are going to miss him when he's on the bench, I think. So
don't say you don't trust Paul Reed.
Well, that's the problem. That's the problem. The depth favors
right.
Miami here, and you just know that their focus is like just shut these guys down as much as you can. So for those reasons, I'm going with Miami. I think they do it in 6.
Heat in 6.
Yeah.
All right, Tas.
Yeah, there's going to be a fight. I agree. We didn't even talk about the potential of Dwayne Dedmon coming off the bench and playing a little bit of backup minutes against Joel Embiid. He wasn't really needed against the Hawks, but yeah, he should be in the rotation. dust off a Udonis Haslem gif. I wouldn't put in Udonis Haslem into the game, but he's going to be on the sideline.
He's got 6 fouls he can throw at Joel Embiid if they need him.
A minute and a half of fighting, yeah, possibly. The depth I think is key, and I think the way the round one has shaken down, where we haven't got a game 7 yet, we have the potential of only having one. I think it's okay to say 7 games. That's allowed because we haven't had one quite yet. So I will take the Heat in 7. I don't have I think sometimes when we watch so much basketball, you kind of forget about the Heat, having not played for a few days, and so the Sixers are fresh in the mind. But I think the Heat are a better team. I'm sorry, yeah, that's right. I was going to stop myself, but the Heat are the better team.
I think the James Harden wild card is you don't really know if Harden plays like he did in Game 6, and at times a little bit in the Raptors series, then man, it's such a game changer because, is Butler going to go for 38 and 6 again like he did in the series against the Hawks? I don't think so. I mean, it's going to be a lot different, of course, who's guarding him and their defensive game plan too. So it's I think Bam and Embiid, as exciting as that will be as the big guys going at it, to me it's which one, especially in clutch situations, Harden and Jimmy Butler take over the game when it's in a tight game in one of these close games. So I'm leaning towards the Heat. I guess I'll go Heat in 6. I'm not a coward. I'm just kidding. I honestly feel like Heat in 7 too, but there's too many. So I'll go with you, Lead. Heat in 6. But everybody taking the Miami Heat here, and no one taking the Sixers to get to the conference finals.
They could do it. It just feels,
of course they
could. Less rest. They're traveling. Fatigue could be a factor with Embiid, I just think.
I mean, there's the whole... Okay, hold on. You talk about fights. There is the whole Embiid thumb here thing, too.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of guys on the Miami Heat that don't give a shit. They're gonna smack at that thing.
Yeah.
They're gonna hammer that thing. And that could, of course, lead to some pushing and shoving and some techs and flagrants and tosses and stuff like that.
I'm just concerned about the Sixers wanting to turn it on when they want and not really playing 48 minutes like the Heat do. And James Harden... Yeah, I haven't seen a dunk like he had in the first quarter against the Raptors from him in a long time. But why did it take till Game 6? And Embiid, I'm not so worried about the thumb.
He's lulling you to sleep.
Yeah, he lulled everybody to sleep for sure. But even though it's kind of stupid to say that a team is fresher in the postseason because everybody gets rest in between games, the Heat are chilling to some degree. I think that helps. And the Sixers, I don't trust them to get better as the playoffs go on. And I'm mainly thinking about their big guys, their main guys in Harden and Embiid. And it's on Embiid too. He hasn't been in a conference finals quite yet. And this is his time to do that, but he's got to be so good against a very, 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 very tough team and coach. So that's a lot on his shoulders, and it's a lot on Jimmy James' shoulders. I think they'll do a good job of Jimmy James. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Boy. You can't do that in a series where
there's a Jimmy
Butler,
and there's a James. We got to call James Harden James.
Okay, let's call James Harden Jimmy Harden. Let's call Jimmy Butler James Butler for this series. Really confuse people. Though we've said before, Trey, that Harden, his spinach might be the nightlife. He just went to Toronto, turned it on in a Game 6. Had a couple days there.
A lot of people are saying he had a huge game last night because he knew he'd get to spend the next week in Miami.
I mean, that's what I'm saying, man. This guy, this guy could get stronger and better at being in Miami here. So starting the series, that could be good for the Sixers. I'm half kidding because I think this guy plays better when he's up till 5 in the morning, all night. He's got that Iverson in him. We'll see. All right, so let's hear from everybody out there. Sixers Heat. What's your prediction? X factors, what are you watching in that one? Let us know in the stream team. Okay, let's talk Celtics-Bucks. We started talking about this while you were there in Vegas, but you get to start, Tas. Your thoughts on this series that starts on Sunday, Game 1 in the afternoon, I believe on ABC, getting the marquee slot there. What do you think?
I don't like that time slot for the Bucks coming out to shoot. I think the Celtics are the better afternoon team. Ooh. Honestly, I think Game 1 goes to the Celtics. But anyways, let's get to the actual basketball. Chris Middleton's absence. Got to start with that. It stinks. I think on both ends. Defensively, we'll get to in a second, but offensively, it's got to be now without Middleton. Giannis setting up everybody, and I don't think the Bucks get a Grayson Allen series like they did against the Bulls because the Celtics are just too good. They're going to be out there on all the shooters that Giannis sets up. I think Giannis is going to have an NBA Finals type performance where he went 35, 13, and 5. He's got to have numbers like that with great percentages, and that's hard to do. Your name's got to be Giannis or LeBron to do that. Maybe Giannis can do it again, but this is a Celtics team that's got the recipe to slow him down, like they did against Durant. Before he gets the ball, bang, bang, he's going to hit somebody, whether it's Marcus Smart, who they put on him in the regular season, which sounds a little crazy, but I think he's going to get bumped by him. And then a guy like Al Horford, who has the length, who is playing his best ball, who's a really, really great defender, shot 60% from three on the other end, and then rim protection with Robert Williams. So you've got a nice little recipe to slow him down.
Sure.
And Boston's just good at slowing down an opposing star. They're just so good to fight against, defensively against stars like that. So I didn't mention Drew Holiday. I think Drew Holiday kind of has to be their second guy, because I don't think they're going to let set shooters really beat them like Grayson Allen and Wesley Matthews. I think Drew, like Kyrie went off in game one against the Celtics. Drew could, but I'm not sure if he can do that for enough games in this series. So Middleton's going to be missed there, and on defense too, because I think Jason Tatum's going to look huge out there, because I'm not sure who they're going to put on Jason Tatum. I think Drew Holiday might get a lot of minutes on him, and that size advantage is a problem. You can put Bobby Portis on him, which not sure, but he's too quick for him. It's just going to hurt, because their wing guys like Jaylen Brown is going to go up against Wesley Matthews. Tatum's going to go up against, I don't know. Again, they don't have a good matchup without Chris Middleton. They're going to miss him. So Giannis has to do a lot on defense, offense, and so I can't see him guarding Jason Tatum. I just don't see it happening, because he's got to do too much offensively.
He'll get spots on him.
Yeah,
for sure,
but I think they're going to have to hide him a little bit, because he's got to do so much offensively. So I think the Chris Middleton factor is going to play big for me.
Giannis guards like Smart in that sort of game plan where he can roam and press your luck whether Smart's hitting threes.
Yeah, Horford is fine.
Yeah,
Robert Williams is fine.
Yeah,
just not Tatum. I think that's a problem.
What do you think, Trey?
It comes down to how much Giannis dominates this series, I really think, because that's the only way the Bucks win, is if we see a special performance from Giannis, which is certainly possible. He didn't have to tap into it very much against the Bulls. He would dominate for a few minutes, and that was the game. But now he's going against a much bigger, much smarter defense, maybe a defense best suited to try and take away what he does best. So I think Giannis needs to be NBA Finals Giannis, and we shall see if that's in the cards. Tas is right. Drew Holiday has to have a big series. He has to be looking for his offense, which is a big ask, because he's going to be playing one of the two stars on the Celtics as well defensively, and then they got to make their threes. Bucks hit 10 or more threes in the first round against the Bulls. Grayson Allen, Pat Connaughton, Drew Holiday, and Wesley Matthews. But the Celtics are one of the better three-point defenses in the league, so it seems like everything the Celtics do takes away what the Bucks want to do effectively, but the Bucks have been really good at imposing their will on other teams for the past 4 seasons, especially for the past season and a half. So I don't know. This is going to be a tough one. This is the one that if you're picking the Bucks, it's because you love Giannis and you're a Giannis guy.
Yeah, and I think his best chance at getting there and causing trouble for Boston is trying to get Williams and Horford in foul trouble, just beasting inside. But then he's got to stay out of foul trouble himself at the other end, because I think they might even attack at him. They might say, listen, best way to get Giannis off the court is to get him into foul trouble. So I just saw the Celtics just dominate Kevin Durant. And that's why I just think without Middleton there, it's going to be so much more difficult here for Giannis to be able to carry this team. And again, you guys have mentioned it. If he's going for 50 like he did in Game 6 against the Suns every game, they're a chance. But he has to do so much for them every single game against a brutal defense. So very tough without Middleton to see how the Bucks can do this. But as I said yesterday, if they can get it to Game 7, maybe that's that one game where Giannis does just produce, because that's their best thing. They've got to hold serve at home. Otherwise, I think the Celtics have just got too much depth, too much strength, too much offense, too much defense for them.
Right. You're also on the record saying you think the Celtics are going to take games 1 and 2 here in this series.
Yes, I
Boston.
do.
Right.
Yes.
Well, let's make some predictions. Tas, get us started.
And it is strange that Boston has home court advantage, because they had the exact same record,
Right.
and Milwaukee sat their guys on the last night of the regular season, last day of the regular season. Could have had another game on the Celtics, so that hurts. And I can't go away from the Celtics just watching them, how they play defense against the Nets. I think they're going to slow down Giannis, and Drew Holiday has got to be a playmaker, a scorer, and that's not really Drew. That's not Drew. And I know people are looking back at the conference finals last year where Giannis was out and they're saying, oh, they rallied around a guy who was out for a few games. First, Giannis Middleton, very different. Second, it was sort of later in the series as well. And so I think this is just a little too much to overcome for a full series against the team that's playing their best ball for the last several months and obviously doing it in the postseason as well. They're rocking. Celtics in 6 for me.
Beantown boy over here.
Beantown boy.
Okay. Trey?
From the Beantown boy to the Giannis guy, I got Bucks in 6. I think this is a huge series for Giannis.
Yep.
I think he's the best player in the league, and if the Celtics beat him this series, I will stop not believing in the Celtics, and I'll flip to being a Beantown boy. But for right now, I'm rolling with Giannis. I think he's the best guy out there, and I think that even though the Celtics had the game plan for it, it's different until you're playing Giannis.
All right. He's torn.
It's hard for me to see. I think the Celtics do it in 6. I think they're just going to overwhelm the Bucks. Middleton's not coming back at all, so there's no real hope that he might come back. I just think they're too deep and too strong. So I hope Giannis does it, though. I would love to see Giannis do that Game 7 performance, but Boston's been so impressive.
Yeah, that's why this one's difficult, but I'm going with Trey. Shout out to Brandon Jennings, Bucks in 6. Yeah, I believe it. I think there will be at least 1 or 2 games where Grayson Allen, who was amazing in the Bulls series, hits enough threes to help out Giannis. Maybe it's Pat Connaughton. Maybe it's your boy Wesley Matthews. Bobby Portis, Brooke, obviously. Lopez didn't even talk much about him, and he can be a difference maker. But yeah, Giannis has to be special, and Drew Holiday is massive in this series. The pressure that he needs to put on and make one of those other Celtics players worry about him and defend him. But I am at the point with Giannis that I'm not going to bet against him until they lose the series. I mean, I think he's almost earned that at this point.
Sure.
And it's a good team, too. Don't get me wrong. But that's where I'm going with this one. Hopefully it'll be entertaining. Close games. It'd be fun to see, Giannis and Tatum, and Jaylen Brown and Drew, trade big buckets down the stretch. But let's hear from everybody out there. As we always ask you guys, Bucks, Celtics, drop your predictions in the stream team. Let us know in the comments. Tweet them in at No Dunks Inc. Can't wait for that one Sunday afternoon. You got the schedule all cleared for that one, I hope.
I'll be watching that one. I don't know, actually. I'll have to check the schedule.
What do you got going?
Well, we've got a big birthday this weekend, so we've got some activities planned.
You got a bigger birthday the next weekend.
Well, birthday party the next weekend, yes.
Wait, what's the difference?
Well, we've got the birthday weekend
I see.
and then the birthday party weekend. So.
Jesus.
Yeah, he's getting 2 birthday parties, actually. Well, 3, technically, but anyway. It's a big one. It's a milestone. 10. Double digits.
Cool.
Oh, the 5-year-old is pissed that he's going out of single digits and going to double digits.
Really?
5-year-old's like
2 numbers.
Yeah, he's like, can I turn 10 as well? Yes. You have to wait, man. You have to just wait.
Wait till he sees the amount of Lego the 10-year-olds.
Oh, he's already
couple. Yeah.
He's already
getting gifts. How many?
Well, no,
birthdays
he knows he's getting.
celebrating?
He knows he's getting Lego, and the little one's like working on trying to get the figures, so if he can play with those.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Wow, it's exciting.
Crazy, man.
Okay. Well, some of us will be watching. He'll have to watch on tape delay.
Yeah.
That's fine. We'll talk about it on Monday. Game 1, Celtics-Bucks on Sunday afternoon. Okay, let's take our final break. When we come back, you got tweet of the night.
I do.
We got to get the John Legend report. I know we jumped right into the action.
JLR.
Yeah, for sure. We got to at least hear how Vegas was. And then we'll do some rapid fire fun. Don't go anywhere. I got a trivia question for you guys.
Love trivia.
Very weird trivia when I think about it. But the question is, what are some things that keep getting better as you use them? I'm going to give you a hint, see if you can get it. Okay, so this one, you wear it on a motorcycle. What's something that keeps getting better the more you use it?
Leather jacket.
Leather jacket. It's good, right?
Right.
Okay. You use this in the kitchen and flavor gets added to it.
Like a wok.
Not bad.
Like a wok, a cast iron skillet. I was looking for, but a wok. Perfect. Final one. It's a product we love here on No Dunks.
Wedgies. Underwear.
You lie on it.
Bed.
Boll Branch sheets. Boll Branch sheets aren't just buttery, breathable, and comfortable. They get softer with every wash. It's crazy. And forget thread count. Stop talking about thread count like you think it matters. It doesn't matter.
No.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't. Boll Branch gives you thread quality. Quality over count. Remember that.
That's like fouls. They don't have to be even. You just got to make the right call.
Doesn't matter how many threads your sheets have if they aren't the best threads possible. That sort of blew my mind. We're just taught, like, thread count. But when you think about, like, what's the quality of the thread count?
Pitch count's the same, isn't it, Tassie?
Yeah. I think.
That's a good point. They're throwing less pitches, but they're throwing them harder. Throwing better pitches.
That's good. I got some Boll Branch, and they weren't joking about them getting softer after each wash. We've used them a couple times now, and it's true. They're getting better and better the more we wash them. Boll Branch signature sheets come in 9 versatile colors in all sizes, from twin up to California King. Are you a California King, man?
I am a California
God, you're
King,
living
man.
life.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. You'll immediately feel the difference with these sheets. Best of all, Boll Branch gives you a 30-night risk-free trial with free shipping and returns on all orders. That's confidence, baby, confidence in a product right there. Get 15% off your first set of sheets when you use the promo code NODUNKS at bollandbranch.com. That's Boll and Branch. BOLLAND branch.com. Promo code NODUNKS.
Green Chef. Our next sponsor is
I
Green
screwed up,
Chef.
man. I
That's
didn't
all right.
start Boll and Branch, yeah.
That's all right.
I had trivia, though.
4 out of 5 ain't
Yeah.
bad. Yeah, trivia. Green Chef fits perfectly with me because I'm the greenest chef there is. In fact, Danielle, my loving life partner, is signing up our little kids for cooking classes and asked if I wanted to take them too so I could learn some basics. But why take classes when you've got Green Chef? Because I made the Cajun blackened chicken and it was magnifique. Just followed the instructions and bang, like a Mike Breen shot. It was great. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit for eating well. With dinners that work for you, not the other way around. Green Chef's options for every lifestyle are included in there. Keto and paleo, vegan, vegetarian, fast and fit, Mediterranean like me, and gluten-free. Whether you're looking for carb-conscious, gluten-free, plant-based, or calorie-conscious options, or you just want to have delicious, balanced dishes, Green Chef has flavorful, feel-good recipes that are sure to satisfy. If I don't have to make a meal, I just won't make it. I'll scrap to survive. Unfortunately, that's how I live. But
That's me too.
We call it scavenging in our house. But yes.
But now I've made a meal from HelloFresh and Green Chef because the instructions are right there. It's so simple, and I enjoyed both experiences. So it makes sense that Green Chef is owned by HelloFresh. And that means there is a wider array of meal plans to choose from. There really is something for everyone. Go to greenchef.com/NoDunks130 and use code NoDunks130 to get $130 off plus free shipping. That's greenchef.com/NoDunks130 and use code NoDunks130 to get $130 off plus free shipping. Green Chef, the #1 meal kit for eating well.
All right, back here in the Classic Factory, start wrapping up today's podcast. But we got to ask, how was Las Vegas? You were there for a couple days with the main objective to see John Legend. Did he put on a show?
Well, it was great to get away.
You stressed, are you?
Well, no, we just need to get away from our kids.
Oh, good call. Good call.
We haven't done that since our first was born. Just needed a trip away from them. So then we saw John Legend on the itinerary in Vegas, and we said, we missed his show a couple times here in Atlanta. Let's make it happen. We got on a plane. We went to Vegas. Vegas is still Vegas.
Hasn't changed, huh?
Did it ever
Same
change?
business. No, I don't think. Same business
Still
model.
running those
Rip
casinos?
everyone off.
Yeah.
It was good. We ate really well.
Nice.
We ate well.
Where were you staying?
Cosmo.
Did you eat anywhere good around there?
Let's pull up a photo, JD. We know once upon a time we saw Spencer Dinwiddie at Eggs Lut. So Lee texted me before I went and said, why don't you get a photo of Eggs Lut? So I did.
It's a great call.
Morning, we got in the lineup. And there was a lineup, but at $10.
There's always a lineup.
There is.
We wouldn't have seen Spencer Dinwiddie if there wasn't a lineup.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, he wasn't there. I guess they don't accept crypto at Eggs Lut. And I got a sandwich. Look at that. Look at that yolk running.
Golden yolk just
That
dripping
honestly
down the bag.
looks delicious.
I would lick the bag.
It's pretty solid. The food options are great there at Cosmo. Super expensive, but you know.
Hey,
You went to Jaleo as well?
Oh, hello, baby. Yeah. Jose Andres, he's the man.
You did all the hot spots that we did.
Yeah, Blue Ribbon.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
You got a boat? Did you get the boat?
I think we were the last people to get the boat. It's now off the menu.
Damn.
But they've added some nice spots. They've had a nice juice spot, which actually most of them have alcohol in the juice, but
Vegas.
a little juice alcohol,
Vegas hasn't
but really quality juice. I mean, everything in that casino, quality. Even the secondhand smoke, quality secondhand smoke. But we went to the. You go from that place to like, the old places. I went to the Flamingo.
Yeah.
I thought the Flamingo habitat would be hopping. The flamingos are supposed to be amongst the people in the back. I think they all died.
Well,
the
flamingos, secondhand smoke got to them.
Yeah. Well, there's no circulation in that hotel. Zero circulation in that hotel. It's that hotel. We looked it up. We thought, how old is this hotel? How old do you think? I mean, this is the Flamingo.
Probably from
1960s.
the 50s.
Yeah, good call. 46, I think it was. Wow. But anyway.
But I assume everybody in Vegas was wearing masks, right?
Yeah, we did some weird stuff. 2 days was nice to get away. The bamboo pool was popping.
Yeah? Oh, you checked it out?
Yeah,
Great.
And we checked out the other one too.
The hopping one. Yeah,
the party
scene one.
Party Central.
And how was the concert?
Oh, it was good. It was good. A little loud.
Oh, God.
Went to Vegas, man.
No, it's just I'm saying the levels were off a little bit. They were off a little bit. We had the one set of drums just super loud. Anyways, you go to a residency type concert.
Yeah, I've never done that.
I don't think there's any real need.
Yeah.
You go to a concert where people want to watch the show.
Yeah.
Is John going through the motions? Like it's coming across?
No, he kicked ass.
Okay.
He kicked ass. He's getting paid. Good for him.
Okay.
But there are people there. It's like, the suits at a Raptors game. The suits at a basketball
You're
game.
saying
They're
the
getting
crowd.
comps.
I see.
They're not there for the performer.
Right,
they're
they're not
there
for the
because
they're in
it's a thing.
Vegas. Yeah, it's
Something to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Celine Dion said that when she was there. She was like,
crowd sucked.
But yeah, people just turn up because it's like, you want to watch Celine Dion? Not really, but why not?
Yeah. I'm sitting with plenty of people that didn't know who John Legend was, for sure.
What did he end with?
What did he end with? He came out for a double encore.
Yeah.
Wild, which is one of his newer ones. Did we go Green Light at the end there? Or was that right before?
That's a banger. That'd be a good song.
Yeah. Confetti fell. Oh, the show was good.
You got a great photo. I did see that.
The show was good. It was definitely good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just the venue. It's just not amazing. Celine Dion, though, they're still playing that everywhere in Vegas. Watched
She's still playing?
No. But they're playing her music everywhere. People are performing it. It was part of the.
It's all coming back to me now when we've been there.
Yeah. Well, we had one dealer. I think even the dealers are lying. The dealer said, "Oh, I live down the street from Celine Dion. I see the helicopter come in and take her to the strip for her show." I don't think you live beside Celine Dion. Don't buy it whatsoever. One day I was at the grocery store and Tony Braxton was shopping beside me. We walked away from the table. Danielle said, "I don't think Tony Braxton's getting her own groceries." Anyway, it's Vegas.
And you
Shit
said
happens.
tables were not kind to Tas Melis this little trip?
Yeah. We had a quick session at the end. Danielle was doing well at the roulette table, but blackjack dealers turned some ninja stuff against me. It was amazing. It was amazing.
Hey, look, are you excited to go back to Vegas for maybe some No Dunk Summer League? I can't wait to play blackjack with you.
That'd be fun.
You're my favorite guy to sit on a table with. I swear to God.
There's some blackjack tables that have the plexiglass for the dealer. A huge plexiglass. It's just so funny. So you got to go underneath.
Just slide under. All right.
It's fun. Fun place for a couple days.
Excellent. Let's get to Tweet of the Night.
Oh, yeah.
Tweet of the night. Wow.
Man, just you talking about Vegas does have me excited to go.
I can't believe I'm feeling a little nostalgic right now.
Yeah.
It's so different when you don't have to work.
Yeah, exactly.
You have all the time in the world.
You do, yeah. No wonder. You're like, well, might as well go to a John Legend concert. Got a couple hours to kill.
I almost did the Absinthe show again on our other night.
Oh, great show.
That's a great show. Thought about it. Almost went to O as well, but we didn't.
All right.
Didn't consider Penn and Teller, though.
Tess really got tossed out for heckling.
I was an asshole that night. We saw the ad on the side of the Palms Casino. Is that where we saw it? Was that at the Palms? Remember? Danielle said, is that where you saw it?
Sounds right.
Penn and Teller.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was right.
I think it is. I remember the cup. I don't know why. Yeah.
We saw a weird Meow Wolf exhibit as well. Very strange. It's an exhibit. There's an other area. There's like an area 52 of Vegas where they've got all these things happening.
Okay.
And they had this strange exhibit sort of experience where you go into a grocery store, but all the products are fake, and then you can go to the back. And
that's that moth milk thing. Photo you shared.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a strange.
Sounds weird.
Strange place, but an experience nonetheless.
Hey, did you go to our cheap Mexican breakfast spot?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
I saw
it's still open. I mean,
yeah,
that's the real
I saw
question.
an ad for it. I think it's still kicking. But I wasn't planning on taking Danielle to the old $4.99
She wasn't
special.
as into that as I am. Yeah. I love that for you. JD, you love that breakfast.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
It's great.
But if we go, are we staying at the Cosmo? We have to, right?
I mean, we got it.
We can pick and choose.
I don't know.
Not on us.
I think we can pick and choose.
We're staying there, JD.
yeah.
Cosmo's great. They've added a
Throwback.
bunch of stuff.
All right.
Little
Great.
scratch. Starbucks as well. It
Nice.
was always hard to get a coffee there. Not anymore.
Was, yeah.
All right, tweet of the night. What do
Oh
you
yeah.
got?
Okay, multi-prong. First one, Grayson Allen is getting booed by his teammates on the bus. Did you guys talk about that
Well, we
already?
talked about them getting booed at home by the
home,
crowd, not
yeah.
the bus.
No, by his teammates.
That's great.
A tweet from Lily Zhao mentioned that Grayson Allen told us that his teammates, especially Wesley Matthews, have enjoyed booing him everywhere, from walking onto the bus, into the hotel, or when he watches film, they boo. So great stuff.
Do you think the Boston Celtics crowd then should cheer him?
They should.
Game one. They should.
Throw him off.
That would be very funny if they give him like a standing ovation when he checks in. Okay.
Grayson Allen's their kind of player. Maybe they will cheer.
He sure seems like a Beantown boy,
He
doesn't
does.
he?
On to the real tweet of the night. It comes from the great Mark Spears, who wrote a piece on Raptors rookie Scotty Barnes. And I haven't seen this information anywhere else but from Mark Spears. He wrote that Scotty has both daily and long-term goals on his phone's lock screen. That is his lock screen. He's got a list, and Spears listed them in a piece on andscape.com. So let's go through them. First bunch. There's two chunks here you'll see on Tweet of the Night. First one's, put myself in a position to take care of my family for the rest of my life.
Damn.
Be the best player for the Raptors. Be recognized as a top-selling big player. I like his wording there. Be known as a lead defender. You're checking the boxes, my man.
Wow.
Getting on to that second
start.
one, JD.
Yeah.
These are the last ones here. Be the best player on the court. He sees this every time he looks at his phone. Win every game and compete. Be a true leader by example. Destroy everyone at practice.
Wow. Turns a bit there.
Yeah. And be rookie of the year. Check, 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 check.
What's he do?
Killing
With,
it.
yeah, what's he do with that last one that is officially, accomplished?
Yeah.
You take it off, strike it out.
That's a good
But
question.
most improved, right?
Sure.
Not bad.
But MVP, man. Dream big.
Yeah.
It's just a good use, I think, of a lock screen.
That is
too.
smart. Yeah.
Good point. Yeah. Well, I mean, I got pictures of my kids. But
Yeah,
I
me
think
too.
about
And my
changing
wife.
it to goals.
Be the best podcaster I can be.
Destroy
Destroy
my
Lee
podcast
Ellis.
mates.
Destroy Lee Ellis's take any chance I get. Shit on breakfast every possible chance you get. I like it. Use it for inspiration. You like that idea? What would you put on yours? Three little bulletin points
What would
to
I put
tackle
on mine?
your life.
Another day, another opportunity. Stole that off Jamal Crawford.
Cool, fridge magnet. I like it. Maybe put stop looking at your phone so much.
Yes. Yeah. Don't charge your phone tonight, So then it dies and you don't have to watch it.
Put that on your list.
Yeah. Then when you look at it, you're like, it's not there.
Okay. Okay, that's good enough.
That's
good answers.
That's good enough. Also, since we mentioned Alejandro Kirk, the Blue Jays catcher, earlier on in the show,
That was the
let's-
photo you were looking at.
Yeah, let's see him now, JD, if we can pull that up. That's him on the left, and another gentleman on the right. As I said, the best.
What? No, hold on. That's not a real guy on the right.
What is it? Photoshop?
I mean, I'm asking.
No, is it?
I don't know. That's a thumb wearing a Yankees uniform, man.
Oh, okay. So maybe.
No,
this
I'm
is why-
asking. I have
no,
no-
you're right. This is probably why I couldn't find him. Because it's a Photoshop of Garrett Cole. Because I had no idea. I thought maybe he could be a relief pitcher. Is it that
I
surprising?
know. That's how crazy baseball is. That you're like, that's maybe a guy, and maybe it is. I honestly don't know.
Well, so I thought it was a regular photo. I threw it in a WhatsApp chat. Our man Joel McMillan said Garrett Swole. And so I'm looking up
hence the
Garrett Cole.
joke.
Is that his name? But Garrett Cole's a starting pitcher making $1 billion.
So
for the Yankees.
somebody got to Photoshop it.
Made him a little wider.
It's like Kim Kardashian taking out her belly button. It's the opposite.
Yes.
You see that? That's making the waves. Okay.
Anyways, that's I guess I thought that was a relief pitcher. I guess it does look a little odd because his body doesn't really fit his neck.
Looks like
face.
a guy, Trey, I can't remember if you watched. Do you watch 90 Day Fiance?
No, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what it is, but I know who you're talking about.
Ed? Big Ed, I
No
think they
idea
call
his
him.
name.
Yeah, look up Big Ed. I think that's Big Ed.
Yeah, I think you're right. Big Ed.
Okay, great.
I think they should always take a if you're a positional player, you should have a bat in your hand, and if you're not, then you should have a glove. A glove. Yeah.
Or not.
So now we know. So I could look through the pictures because that's what I was doing. I guess it is that's just.
So
Garrett
our best
Cole.
guess is that people took Garrett Cole and made him Garrett Swole.
Yeah, I guess
And made him look
because
like
he didn't work out over the offseason and get that big.
I love
He didn't
that
work out his neck.
I love that we were actually not sure whether that was the real guy. That he looked
His
like
neck
that.
looks like David Wells. Who cares?
Yeah.
That's just the wild look.
What a neck.
Okay. Great tweets. Love them all around. Tonight's game, only one on, Lily.
Yeah.
Game 6, Grizzlies-Wolves. Now, you had a bad night last night. You said...
0 for. I went 0 for last
night.
night.
Yeah, you went 0 for in your predictions.
Yeah.
But do you think the Memphis Grizzlies close this out in Minnesota, or we get a Game 7 baby? Our only Game 7 it would be, of course, from the first round on Sunday it would happen. What do you think?
I think the Grizzlies close it out.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. Not super confident in that pick. I mean, but the Wolves just haven't really been able to take control of these games and close them out when they should have. So I think Memphis realizes they can close it out and get ready for the Warriors in the next round at home. So.
All right. Tas, what happens tonight, Friday night?
I'm a closer man. I think they finish the job here.
Garrett Cole, is he a closer?
Mariano, isn't he the famous closer?
Mariano Rivera.
Yeah.
He's still doing it. No, he's not still doing it now. No. I can't even name a closer.
Yeah.
BJ Ryan, former Blue Jay.
Big lefty.
Yeah, huge. He had the big baseball head.
What do we love to do more? Name baseball guys or name hockey guys? Or in your case, name, cricket or
yeah.
I guess football players.
Lee Smith was the man.
Lee Smith.
I loved Lee Smith. Smith.
Bobby Thigpen.
Yeah.
Once set the saves record in the MLB. 57. Really nice.
Are like
Thigpen coming out of the bullpen.
Are they even like things now? Like, I don't know. Closers? They still a thing? Or is it like now it's by committee? Yeah, because like a pitcher isn't usually going like 7 or 8 innings anymore, right?
Yeah, but there's still a designated closer.
Yeah, but I saw recently they took out a guy that had a perfect game going.
What
That should be illegal. That should be illegal.
Who is that? A Kershaw or
I
a...
forget who it was.
It was somebody.
Clayton
It was a
Kershaw,
Dodger.
wasn't it? Clayton
Was it?
Kershaw, yeah.
Did you see this?
No, but I thought we were talking about it at the game that night.
I think it was Kershaw. It was a Dodger for sure.
All right.
It was his first game come back from
I don't
injury.
care.
Only pitched 80 pitches.
Perfect game?
7, right? He pitched 7?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And not a lot of pitches too.
80 pitches. But he was on a PC. He's on pitch count. Everything's PC these days, even baseball players.
So you got the
Wouldn't the closer, though? Wouldn't the closer... I mean, he's aspiring to be the starting pitcher, isn't he?
Never.
No?
Different skill sets.
throws, man. Throws
Yeah.
It's not
differently.
good enough.
Come in, you throw
Doesn't have the
9
arm
pitches
for
as
it,
fast
man.
as you
That's
can.
what I mean. Like, you might throw 3 pitches and you're done and your job's done. And you're like,
Yeah.
my work is done here.
High pressure situations.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Crazy.
Okay.
I'm a closer.
Put that on your lock screen.
I'm a closer.
All right, let's close this damn podcast here. We still have rapid fire. Trey, just give me a quick prediction tonight. What do you got? Are you going with these guys? Is it over?
No, I'm more of a setup man.
Yeah, you
I think
are.
we're going to be going to Game 7, baby, to close it out. This one is really impossible to call. Like, every game feels completely different, except for, it's probably going to be sloppy and somebody will make some crazy plays. So I'm hoping for the same, and I'm hoping we actually get one Game 7 here in the first round.
I'm in sync with Trey. You're a Dwayne Ward, man. You set it up.
Thanks.
It's the only setup.
I know, you're all about Ward and Hanky.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's all right. I think it's
that's
good.
my sweet spot for
Yeah.
baseball. I'm also going Wolves extending this and giving us a Game 7 on Sunday, which would be very exciting, of course. So we will see. Friday night basketball. Love it. Let's end with some rapid fire. JD, you got the questions. We got Lee, myself, and Trey answering these. Have at it.
Yeah, so yesterday, Lee made a reference to Nuns on the Run,
Yeah.
a screwball comedy from 1990 starring Robbie Coltrane and Eric Idle. Maybe Lee's deepest cut ever? I mean,
That's
it's
deep.
gotta be, right?
That's fair. It's a movie I'd never even heard of.
Yeah.
And guys I'd never heard of.
Yeah. Well, it's the weekend, guys, and I need something to watch. So hit me with your deepest cut, a hidden gem of a movie that you love, but nobody else knows. Lily.
JD, I think you're going to like this 1998 neo-noir crime thriller called A Simple Plan.
I've seen it, yeah. It's a great movie.
Great movie. On Rotten Tomatoes, right?
Yeah.
90%. Now, I don't, it just says 90% Rotten Tomatoes. But then I look at the box office, 16.3 million for a budget of 17 million. Something doesn't quite connect there. Like, it's a really good. You got a Bill Paxton.
Yeah.
You got a Billy Bob. Thornton. You got a Bridget Fonda. Mm-hmm. And it just the longer it goes, it just gets more twisty and
I'm
curvy.
trying to remember if I've seen this.
It's a really good movie.
It's great.
Yeah.
Definitely a hidden gem.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, thanks. Maybe I'll watch that. Skeets.
Well, this was difficult, JD, because I realized in trying to answer this, I only love 5 movies.
Okay.
There are only 5 movies I truly love. They are Gladiator,
Yep.
Interstellar, The Royal Tenenbaums,
Yeah.
of course, Rad,
Yep.
which would be my answer, but I talk about it all the time. And then the other one, The Wizard.
Right.
So I'll go with The Wizard. I don't think you've watched it.
I have not seen it. Yeah.
It's from 1989. We're starring a young Fred Savage, a young Haley Lewis, who would go on to become, an incredible artist. Which is
Really?
crazy, yeah. And it's about video games, really. It ends up being about Super Mario Brothers 3 in the end. And somehow Haley knows about the flute, the magic flute, which is your warp whistle, even though they'd never seen the game. There's some plot holes, but it takes me back to my ute.
Have you ever seen Cloak and Dagger? With
No.
Dabney Coleman and Henry Thomas, hot off of E.T. That's what it sounds like to me.
No.
It's about a video game as well. It's a spy thriller, but about a video game.
You ever seen Mac and Me?
I have not. I've only seen the clip
Okay,
that
you
Conan
should
and
watch
Paul
Mac
Rudd
and Me.
always. Yeah.
That's something else too. But
right, cool.
yeah, The Wizard. Those are the only 5 movies I like.
I think I would have been able to get 3 of them.
You guys
actually,
would have.
yeah.
All right, Trey.
Which one
Oracle
stumped
quiz.
you think? Okay, The Wizard maybe? You've heard me talk about The Wizard before.
I wouldn't have guessed Interstellar for sure.
Yeah, I always
Interstellar
forget
and The Wizard, I wouldn't have gotten.
Interstellar is my new. It's like if it's on,
Yeah.
I'm just yelling
Gotta
Murph
watch
and
it.
trying to figure it out. Still haven't figured it out either. That's the
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway, Trey, what's your answer?
All right, Trey.
Have you seen Grandma's Boy, JD?
No, I don't think I have.
2006, a 35-year-old video game tester has to move in with his grandma and her 2 old lady roommates. On Rotten Tomatoes, a whopping 15%.
Whoa.
But 85 from the audience.
Yeah, okay, all right.
This is a stoner movie.
What are we talking Adam Sandler here?
Yeah,
or
it
who-
sounds like an Adam Sandler
I don't think he's not in it, but it's like all Adam Sandler associates, and it is a Happy Madison
Okay, all right.
production. It's like Alan Covert and Nick Swardson are the stars.
Okay.
It's dumb. It's very dumb.
I like dumb.
But it is very funny and very dumb.
All right, great.
And you said it's 18% from the critics and 85.
15%.
Sorry, 15
Yeah.
from the critics, 85 from the fan. Doesn't that fit the? Is it Zach Harper and Amin Al Hassan?
Cinephobe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't that fit the
That's
criteria?
I wonder if they've done it.
Yeah.
They
maybe
should.
have.
It's funny.
Great. Okay, speaking of movies, we learned this week that Jason Momoa is joining the cast of Fast X, the final chapter in the Fast and Furious franchise, which I actually found out is a 2-parter. So we got 2 movies coming, guys. Oh my God. But the next day we found out that Justin Lin has stepped down as director. Lee, put on your producer's hat and hire a new director for Fast X. Who you got?
Yeah, tough one for me. Not all that familiar with the franchise, but I think a guy who might like this high-octane type of movie is Guy Ritchie.
Oh, that's good.
That's a good answer.
I like that answer.
Yeah. So
That works.
he needs a banger. Maybe this is maybe these 2 can come together and form the perfect movie together. So, Guy's my guy.
Great answer. All right,
Great
Skeets.
Well, Vin's gonna do it, isn't he?
Yeah, yes.
Probably.
Yeah.
Which will.
What do you mean?
Bad.
He's going to be in it?
No, he'll probably direct it. JD.
That's bad news.
Yeah, it's very bad news. Anyway, hopefully not. Though you saying that Fast X is a 2
Yeah, it's
part movie
chapter
now?
1 and chapter 2, it sounds
They're
like.
really leaning into the WrestleMania angle, going with the X, like
Uh-huh.
WrestleMania, and then the 2-parter, like the Saturday Sunday night. But you know who should direct Fast X? A man by the name of Terrence Jason Doyle.
I love it.
Yes, you, JD, should do it. You've obviously did all the Fast Friends. You've got a great understanding of the series. You know what works, what doesn't, and you're a great director.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, thanks.
JD
yeah,
for
I
Fast X
appreciate
directing.
Justin, who's still producing the movie. Call me.
okay.
Trey.
Well, it's funny you mentioned it, Skeets. I think Vin Diesel has to direct it. I think he probably will. And like, hey man, you made your Fast and Furious bed. Now you have to direct in it. You're the one who you got The Rock out of here. You got Jason Statham out of here. Everything that people love about Fast and Furious. Now we're left over with Vin. Just gonna be Vin starring in every single role, like Eddie Murphy and Nutty Professor. He's gonna play every single part. And hey, he did a great job with Los Bandoleros.
Did he though?
Yeah,
Did
remember
he?
that classic short Los Bandoleros?
It's just going to be him and Michelle Rodriguez languishing on a kayak built for two for the whole thing.
Just making out the whole movie.
Well, I'd watch that.
Yeah, this was disappointing news to be quite honest.
Yeah.
That Justin Lin was leaving after they already started production. I was like,
should we be doing a Fast Friends podcast here in the coming weeks?
Maybe.
To talk about all of this stuff.
Get Matty O on and get his thoughts on the whole debacle. Maybe he has some inside information on the Hollywoodness of it.
Oh, good point.
I'd love that. All right, last one here.
People asking for your full take on the Batman as well, JD.
No time for that. We're doing rapid fire.
Oh, come on. No, not right now. Not right now. A whole podcast.
Oh, sure. We'll do that down the road. Why not? All right. Last one. The NBA Central tweeted this quote from Kendrick Perkins earlier this week. Quote, Ben Simmons is that pretty girl that is single, and everybody is wondering why she's single. It's because she smokes cigarettes. Guys, we're all married men now. But take us back to your single days.
Yes.
What would be an absolute deal breaker in a partner back then, Lee?
Well,
Don't dance around it. Just tell us.
well, okay. First off, it was a boozy night in Paris.
That's chapter 5 of his autobiography.
Extremely boozy night in Paris.
That's funny. I just had one of those a couple nights ago.
It looks so real. It's a little smaller than you thought, right?
Yeah, me and this friend of mine, we were walking around. I don't know where we were. It was my first time in Paris, and we're in one bar and we were going to go to another one. And as we got out, this taxi pulled up and these girls were getting out of the taxi and we were going to jump in the taxi, and then one of them said, you guys want to go to a party? And it was a hazy, cold January night. And I didn't notice at first, but there was a strong jaw on this lady. And then I noticed a little stubble on the chin.
Is this a King song?
And then the Adam's apple was a giveaway. And that was the deal breaker for me.
Wow.
I was out. My friend...
That was the deal breaker. Okay.
My friend wasn't out immediately, and I had to say, no, we're going somewhere else. We're going to a different bar. We're not going with these ladies.
Paris, man.
When in Paris.
Yeah. Oh my God, what a drunken, boozy, hazy night that was. I'm so glad I had this guy, because this was before we had mobile phones as well. So, like, no one knew. We didn't know where we were.
Couldn't look at your lock screen.
Nah.
Take the Adam's apple.
Oh man, I'd still be wandering around the streets if it wasn't for him, because I didn't know where I was. And we were just like...
Still, 20 years later.
I can't remember where the hotel is. But anyway, so Adam's Apples is the deal breaker for me.
Okay, Skeets.
That's so good. I can't follow that up. Nora told me, by the way, this question is like a thing on TikTok right now.
Oh, really?
It's, I guess the kids, like, when someone gives you the ick. I guess that's the angle that they go with, the ick. But anyway, mine would have been, I guess would still be, not being able to dance.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Like the lack of rhythm, any sense of rhythm would be no thanks, not interested.
That's a good one.
I like that. Trey?
Yeah, I didn't have a great answer for this until I saw that picture of Garrett Cole. So, neck wider than the head. I'm out.
Okay.
Perfect.
There it is. A rapid fire fun. Hopefully a classic, but you tell us, let us know in the comments below. Let us know by liking the video, subscribing to No Ducks on YouTube, by giving us that 5-star rating and review wherever you listen to the podcast. That was a long one there for you on a Friday. Good to have the whole band back together, though, like I said. And we will be here next week, Monday morning, to break down at least one game from the weekend, if not more, if we get Game 7 tonight, depending if the Wolves can extend that series. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, at NoDunksInc. Send in your questions. Gonna need them. Hitting the beach next week. Send them into nodunks@theathletic.com and get yourself an Athletic subscription. Go to theathletic.com/nodunks. Also, NoDunks merch at nodunks.com. T-shirts, hoodies, mugs, shorts, a lot of good stuff. All right. Fun show.
Very fun.
Woo! Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us, and remember, 'twas a boozy night in Paris, and the Adam's apple was prominent, but the neck was wider than the head.
Oh, yeah.
But she could dance. I was in.
Embrace the weekend, people.